Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nick, you're watching the Cryptus Channel, and in today's video we're going to cover how to get airdrops from Layer Zero and from Starknet with the highest probability. And these are both great projects, we're going to cover them in this video. The thing is, these are projects that are likely to get more than $100 per account that you do in their testnets right now. So basically you want to make sure to have multiple accounts while doing this because you don't want to miss out on the drops they're likely to give. So let's start. So Layer Zero is a project that does not have an own token right now, which means that once Layer Zero's token is going to be launched, there is a high chance that they're going to be giving out a portion of their tokens, like maybe 1 to 5% to the early users who've actually used Layer Zero before, and we're going to profit all this because the major platforms, the big platforms, because of hype, because of marketing, always give out a portion of tokens to the early users, and we want to be an early user of Layer Zero, and we're going to use Starknet in order to do so because there is some stuff that you can just use Layer Zero if you're not a developer. I'm going to get into this in a minute. But in a few words about Layer Zero, why we should do this retro drop is basically because of the fundraising. As an example, our Layer Zero just recently on the 30th of March 2022, they've got a $135 million fundraise from A16Z, from FTX, from Sequoia Capital, from Animoca Brands, Avalanche Foundation, and a lot of other funds and VC funds, like for example Coinbase Ventures, Coin Fund, Yapper Labs, Fundum Foundation. Basically from the biggest blockchains, from the biggest VC funds, they've all gotten an investment, and typically this means if a project does get such high investments in it, they typically have the money to pay the market papers, they have the money to basically give out retro drops for people. Basically they have a lot of cash and liquidity for marketing. So this is the reason why we definitely want to focus on Layer Zero, because it does have really great backers behind it, and it's a super great technology which the crypto space actually needs right now. So what Layer Zero actually does, it connects various blockchains together. It provides its own architecture for different blockchains like Ethereum, like Avalanche, like Arbitrum, to be all working in one single space. So you can actually bridge tokens from one blockchain to another really fast. It takes like only a couple of minutes. You can farm or stake your tokens across different networks and basically keep an eye over your assets across different platforms all in one space. So this is a really great concept, and it's already working right now with different projects. Of course, it's only in the test phase right now. That's actually also the reason why they don't have a token yet. So while the project is in its test phase, we want to use it as much as possible to get the probability up of having our wallet address in the retro drop or airdrop list for the future. Now, I'm not saying that the airdrop is going to be tomorrow. Maybe it's going to be in 1 month from now, maybe in 2, maybe even more. But the work that you do now, and it's again, the work is free, almost except the gas fees, it does have a really high chance to pay off in the future, because remember, Uniswap or DYDX, they were giving away always almost $5,000 per account for the early users. So that's what we want to do with Layer Zero right now. Now the thing is, because Layer Zero is actually a separate architecture that other blockchains or DApps might use to get their stuff cross-chain ongoing, we can't use Layer Zero directly as a protocol. You can, there is one option, but we're going to be using Stargate .finance in order to use Layer Zero, because Stargate is actually built on Layer Zero. So once you're using Stargate, this actually means you're using Layer Zero accordingly. So basically here we're catching like 2 flies with 1 hit. I know if it's a word, but anyways. So let's start with Stargate, and then we're going to get even to some simpler solutions of how you can get to use Layer Zero and possibly get a really huge airdrop in the future. So Stargate is a project that lets you stake and pool your different liquidities across different networks, like for example Ethereum, Avalanche, BNB, Arbitrum, Matic network. And basically these assets are then used for different activities, like for example for bridging them for different people. So they're just like liquidity that you're getting an APY on. So in order to get an airdrop or retro drop from a platform, you're actually intended to use the platform the way it's intended to be using. So for example, as for Stargate, it's pooling your assets and farming your assets, and basically then we've got the highest chance of our wallet getting into the retro drop list. So I've already finished this. I don't want to show you every transaction that you've got to do, because yeah, this will take a lot of time. I just want to let you know that you need to use MetaMask in order to work with DeFi with retro drops. So for example, I've got my MetaMask already installed and up and running. If you don't have MetaMask yet, you need to install it. Just watch a guide on YouTube on how to do it. And yeah, I'm going to show you where you need to press the buttons, what you need to do in order to get the highest chances of a retro drop. So the first thing you actually want to do is just stake your assets, like for example USDC on the protocol. Here are different options, like for example Ethereum, Avalanche, and again BNB and other chains. I always use to Ethereum because yeah, that's more expensive. You pay like $2 to $5 gas fees per transaction, but again the developers tend to look at Ethereum when giving out retro drops more often than not. So if you do have the basically liquidity to use Ethereum, use Ethereum. If you don't want to spend so much money, like for example, I know like $10 to $15 per account for retro drop for gas fees, just use different networks like Avalanche, BNB, and Arbitrum. Your transaction costs will be less than $1 for the whole cycle, but again the chances of you getting the retro drops will be a little bit lower. But anyway, so I already pulled my assets here in Ethereum. How you want to do this yourself is go to stargate.finance/pool. I'll leave the links down below in the description, and just pick the asset that you've got on your wallet already from the asset supported here, and basically just click on the correct network and the correct assets. Then you want to click on add. You want to click on the amount of assets you want to pool. I always tend to use like $100 for a testnet account, and then I don't have the balance right now on my wallet because I've already did this on this testnet wallet. And basically I then click here on pool or add liquidity, and the liquidity is transferred into Stargate. Once you've transferred your liquidity to Stargate, you then go over to farming, and basically you can see the farms. I already have a farm here with USDC, but basically you can pick any farm that you want. Like for example here the USDC with Ethereum, you basically click on it and pull your assets into the farming, and this way like you just click max again, and basically you're getting your LP tokens, and then they're up and farming. And so basically by making this basic activities, we're not hunting these 4.10% APY. We're hunting that the platform memorizes our wallet that we use to connect on our MetaMask account, or maybe you're using Trust Wallet or different wallets, in order to, once the token is out, to get airdrops from it, because yeah, this is a way we can actually earn some decent money. Alright, so after you've pulled your assets, you can actually unstake your assets and just use them as you want, or just transfer them through an exchange then to the next account if you own a multi-account this whole stuff to get more rewards in the future, because this way, after you've provided liquidity, Stargate actually memorizes that your wallet did provide liquidity, so you may be eligible for the airdrop in the future. But there are a couple of more things you want to do now in order to basically increase your chances for the airdrop from Layer Zero and Stargate. First of all, you want to go to Stargate to transfer, and basically transfer your liquidity, your assets from one network to the other, because this is the way you directly use Layer Zero in order to remove your assets from one blockchain to the other. So first of all, you pick the blockchain where your assets are on right now. So for me, it's for example USDC on Ethereum, and you pick the blockchain where you want your assets to go. So for example Arbitrum, you can pick like any blockchain you want, and basically click on your assets and then confirm your transfer. I'm not going to do this now because I've already done this, and basically this increases your chances of getting the airdrop. Then you can move your liquidity from Arbitrum to Ethereum, just the other way around, to get your money back if you want to have them back on Ethereum again. So these were the most important things you want to do, but this was only covering Layer Zero. Now let's focus a little bit on Stargate, and then we'll come back to Layer Zero again, because here, once we're already on this platform, we can increase our chances of receiving the Stargate token in an airdrop later. And the Stargate token is already live, it's already trading, so the chances of getting the Stargate token are actually a little bit lower, because there was some emission already we can use, but we can still try and do some governance and voting on governance proposals, because if you're governing in a DeFi protocol, this is actually something the devs love the most. This is the most important thing you want to do if you do have some Stargate tokens, for example, because that's the way the most retro drops or airdrops are actually distributed between people who actually have done at least one governance on the network before. So this again is optional, because here you need to buy tokens, STG tokens, but this increases your chance of getting an airdrop like by a lot of percent. So what you want to do if you want to do this part is basically you need to buy some STG tokens. So what you can do here is basically go to 1inch, use the Ethereum network, and just pick the cryptocurrency you've got to spend, pick the token you need to buy in order to make the vote. So here is STG, Stargate token, and you just buy the token, the amounts you want. Like for example, I always do this for $100, and then I stake them in order to vote. So once you've bought STG, it's going to be over at your MetaMask, and you can start using it immediately. So in order to do this, you just head over to stake over here. It will show you your STG tokens here down in available. For example, for me, it's just 0.22 STG. For you, it will be probably more if you buy more STGs. And here you want to get voting power for owning STGs. Now, to get voting power, you need to click here on your STG and pick the amount of STG you actually want to stake and pick a stake duration from 1 month up to almost 3 years, so 35 months. And basically, I just always use 1 month to just make one vote. Then I just click here on stake, and afterwards my tokens are going to be locked for 1 month. I can withdraw them and basically sell them again after 1 month, but you need to keep in mind that over the course of 1 month you can't do anything with your tokens, so don't go all in on this stuff just in case something not so nice happens to the platform. And once you actually did this, you're receiving your vested STG balance, and this is actually stuff used to vote on the network. So here you can see I've got 243 STG staked, and my STG voting balance is 5.9 Aptos tokens. So next you go on vote on snapshot, you're going to be transferred over to the Stargate DAO, and here are different voting proposals that will be open. Right now, as I'm recording this video, the voting proposals have ended, but you can look here every couple of days because they typically last for 3 days. Every couple of days if something's open, because here it's going to be set open, you just click on this and then you just give it any vote. Like for example, yes, here will be a little menu where you can say yes, no, or you didn't make your mind up over it, and then you just click on vote, and this will count as vote. And this is really important. If you do this stuff, then you're really likely to get an airdrop. And this is considering Stargate, because again, if you get some Stargate tokens for voting, this will be really great. So we've covered Stargate completely. We did use a little bit of Layer Zero through this protocol, so I know we didn't interact with Layer Zero at any kind, but Stargate is actually built on top of Layer Zero, and this is why every time we interact with Stargate, we also interact with Layer Zero. And then there are two different other options how you can interact with Layer Zero directly in order to maybe be eligible for the next airdrops, and these are also really good stuff you can be using. So let's cover this. So it will take like maybe 3 more minutes. So the first thing you want to do is use the Layer Zero name service. So this is actually stuff that lets you create your own domain that you can later use on the internet, use for your website. Yeah, just have your own domain on the Layer Zero network, which will work on across various different protocols which are really popular right now. So it's Harmony, it's Polygon, it's Ethereum, Optimism, and so on and so on. So the way it works is you just come up with a name, I don't know, like blockchain 123, and click on register the name, and if it's free, it's going to show up that you can pay the transaction now. It costs like $5 at the moment, and if it's not free, there will be an error message, like for example, if you just type in blockchain, that you cannot register this. So for example here, I think this domain already is registered. If we come up with another creative name, then we can just register it. Don't register just something stupid. Search out for different company names, best or most preferably in the crypto space. If you don't manage this, then I don't know, make like normal company names, like I think Coca-Cola must be already registered, but if not, yeah, it's already registered. But just be creative and look for some names you can actually sell once Layer Zero is more popular in the next bull cycle. Yeah, because for me, I registered just one name with this account. I can go over to my domains here. For example, my full name is Nikita, so I registered Nikita.Layer Zero, so it's always easy. To which wallet address can I transfer your basically the cash? You just say, yeah, Nikita.Layer Zero, and it's more convenient that way. And of course, you can later on, if you have a really good domain name, you can just head over to Marketplace and sell it there. But basically, we're registering the domains not only to sell them later, but to be eligible for airdrops, because a lot of blockchain name services actually were giving out generous retro drops or airdrops of $300, $400, $500 in the past just for registering one domain using your wallet. So this is definitely something you want to do, especially because it only costs $6. So just be creative and grab a domain name while it's to come, because only 4,453 domains were registered yet. That's not much. If they're going to give out a retro drop for this, this will be some really good sums you can collect here. So this was the second option, what you can do to get basically retro drop from Layer Zero. And now let's get over to the third option, because here you can use both Layer Zero and Aptos network. Aptos is really on hype right now, so I figure out that you can again connect something useful and helpful and something that will probably pay you in the future, and basically use the Aptos bridge in order to transfer liquidity from one blockchain to the other blockchain using Ethereum and Aptos again, because here you can get the chance to get the Layer Zero airdrop and the Aptos airdrop, because Aptos has over 50% of their tokens allocated to their community, but so they only gave away like 3% or 2% of the tokens, so there's probably something more to come. And I will also record a separate video of how to get retro drops on Aptos in a short while, so also keep watching so you don't miss out on these. I have like 10 or 12 different platforms on Aptos that you need to use to get retro drops in the future. So regarding the bridges, you see that I like to transfer a little more than $500 using bridges, because really often the bridges give you airdrops based on how much funds you've actually transferred. So if, for example, a lot of times on DEXs or on governance, it doesn't matter if you vote for $1 or $100 or $1,000, then on bridges it's more often the case that the more you transfer, the more you're eligible for a higher airdrop. Like for example, DYDX, they were giving around $700 if you were trading like $100 on the platform, but they were giving out hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for people who were trading over $1 million on the platform. So if you've got the ability to basically transfer more than a couple of bucks through the bridge, this will be also really great. So basically what you do here is go over to transfer. First you go to theaptosbridge.com/bridge and you go over to transfer. So this is how it's going to look, except this transaction won't be here anymore for you because you didn't do this. You choose the network from where you want to transfer your liquidity, just as we did with the other protocol before with Stargate. Choose your token you want to transfer, like for example, again, you type in 100 USDC, and then you choose the Aptos network and basically again choose USDC and then click to transfer. Then you submit everything over MetaMask or the wallet you're using, and then you're actually completely set. The thing you want to keep in mind that I wouldn't use the bridge to bridge the assets back using the bridge, because it takes about 3 days. It really does take about 3 days to get the assets back from Aptos to Ethereum. So what you can do there on Aptos is just go to any DEX on Aptos, basically trade the USDC for Aptos, and then transfer your Aptos to any exchange you want, like I don't know, Binance or the exchange you're using, Coinbase maybe. After this, you're all set. You didn't have to wait for 3 days and you've transferred your liquidity there. The way where you can use where you can actually transfer your liquidity is Pontem Network, because this is also a Web3 service that didn't give out airdrop before. So you go to Liquid Swap right here, and basically after you have your Aptos or USDC transferred to the Aptos network, you also need some Aptos for gas. So you need to buy a little Aptos on the exchange, and basically then you just choose USDC for Aptos. You trade the USDC for Aptos, then you transfer this Aptos back to your exchange and trade it for USDC there. So you do lose a little bit on the DEX swap commission, like 0. That's the price impact. You lose like I know for each $100 3 cents, so 0.3%, but that's not much in comparison to what airdrops you might get in the future, because again, these services I showed you, if they're giving out an airdrop, they're giving out at least $100. I'm thinking about like $3, $4, maybe $500 per account. So again, if you got the opportunity, try to multi-account these services, namely LayerZero, Aptos. We're doing a different video for Aptos because there is a lot of stuff you can do there. The Aptos bridge, and again Stargate, which I've already closed. Yeah, here are the LayerZero domains, the NFT marketplace. But anyways, yeah, you remember Stargate, I've showed you pretty precise what you've got to do there. So yeah guys, that's actually it for the video today. So make sure if you do these activities, then you're in the top 99% of people who actually could get an airdrop from using the services. So yeah guys, good luck to you. This is actually everything I want to show in this video. Again, there's no guarantee that you're getting an airdrop or anyone gets an airdrop after using the services. But again, if there's going to be a retro drop, then basically we're in tier 1 after doing these activities to be eligible for this, because we were using the networks and the services and the DApps in its earliest stages. Also bear with me, the thing I want to show you is one of the previous videos I recorded is how to look out for retro drops, airdrops, new projects, new GameFi projects, new NFT collections, and be above the top 95-99% to ever encounter a new project. Basically get no G-roll and get generous rewards afterwards using TweetDeck. So basically you see I have all different threads here, groups, so I can always get the latest crypto news. I've gotten a guide on how to search for the retro drops using TweetDeck down below, so I will link it in the video. And yeah, so actually guys, good luck to you. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you, and we'll see each other in the next video.